Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Previously on Kimba TV.
That the next short opportunity, I might have to market smash close this bitch if it does a swing fail up here. Because this is bad. This, potentially this. I would much prefer if it didn't even go down there because that's actually bearish. But that could be the potential sweep. Mic check, how we doing? How we doing, y'all? Woo! Get nasty! Get nasty, y'all! The math is the math! Woo! Who juicing? Oh, who getting wet? Who getting wet? Swabe says, is that a good high or a bad high? It's a good high. It's a good high. Chris says, so it didn't sweep those lows and just pixeled golden pocket. I don't understand why. Probably because, Chris, you don't see the levels yourself, Chris. Yeah, so first things first, Chris. We actually talked about it for about 2 hours. I believe it was Monday? It was either Monday or Tuesday, so you definitely want to go back and catch the highlights, Chris. But do you remember when I said, technically, the lows that need to get swept is here. But I'm going to put the level here, but you all need to understand that the sweep level is here. And what do I say, Chris? If you don't know what you're doing, they're always going to get you. So, did they sweep? Yes, they did. Yes, they did, Chris. So we actually spent about 2 hours talking about this on Monday or Tuesday, brother. But I specifically said, make sure you understand the sweep level and the liquidity level. I literally said it doesn't have to be this one. And I probably said 8, 9, 10 times, make sure you have identified the bad lows and bad highs yourself. Sounds good, Chris? So always do what I tell you to do. Draw the lines and see them yourself. Roger? Schwiggity, schwaggity, my boy. 30-minute candle closes in 9 minutes. Sorry for these stupid questions. Sometimes I watch you every day. It's not a stupid question, Chris. It's okay. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to remind you why I say things. Chris, how many times have you heard me say, find the levels yourself? And so what I'm just trying to do is reinforce why I say certain things so many times every single day. Alrighty? But you can't, and what do I always say about finding your own levels? It's unavoidable. You cannot not do it. Alrighty? But yeah, it's all good, Chris. That's kind of the reason why you would have, we talked about how you would want to do a box like that if you really wanted to take that sweep. All right. And so if you did like put a net, you would have gotten pretty well filled. But yeah, Chris, just make sure that you have all the levels identified, okay? Pascope says, was talking about a short. Sure, Pascope. What time was this when it happened? What time was this when it happened, Pascope? And again, this was all part of the plan. So I already know that you didn't watch yesterday's highlights or yesterday's stream. So I specifically said, I'm not going to put any alerts on and I'm going to sleep peacefully, Pascope. So what time was that in the US when it happened? Literally, even things like that are talked about and expressed and planned in advance, Pascope. Sounds good? even down to the variables like that is already planned out. So it's okay, Pascal, but I'm trying to tell you, Pascal, even down to variables like that, for the last 2 years, I've said out loud. Alrighty? And really the point that I'm trying to make, Pascal, is that if you feel like you need to get lucky, then I think you're going to be trying to chase every single trade. But if you've been following me, brother, I've been telling you I'm not looking for longs anymore once the CME swept all-time high. Alrighty, so I already have been talking, like since Thursday, Friday of last week, people have been asking, hey man, when are you looking for longs and stuff like that? So I'm not, you know, if it comes down here and it has a hidden bull div, then maybe, right? But what is my target for the short? Do you know? So do you know that I have a pretty easy way to get into a short if it wants to do something like this? So just try to kind of follow along. But there's nothing wrong with taking a scalp long or scalp short anywhere. But I've been waiting for this to get swept. We knew that was a bad high. Yeah, so if it makes a bad low, if it doesn't sweep that liquidity, if it makes bad lows and it starts to go back up to value area low or point of control, or if it comes back up to here and it has a short squeeze, then I'm probably going to be able to get into a short. So as we always talk about, brother, it's if you don't know what you're doing, you're always going to end up paying for it. But if you know what you're doing, then you don't have to take every single Pico top. Let me know if you have any questions though, Pascal. You should know like what my TP is if I wasn't a short. You should have a general idea on where I would try to get back in if it did start pumping. If I was gonna look for a scalp long, what level would it be? What would I want from here? Like why would I long this if it's doing this? Right?
Kimber, what is your long entry?
Nikolai says TTS. Kimba, what is your long entry? You already know what it is. Please tell me you guys know what it is.
Not on my hands.
Who knows what it is? Who doesn't even need to see it? Who doesn't even need to see it? Who doesn't even need to see it? Quit, y'all better quit playing with me.
We long then.
Y'all better quit playing with me. Guys, come on. Do you even need to see it, y'all? Do you even need to see it, y'all?
You know what it is. Black
Quit playing with me, y'all.
Black and yellow, black and yellow, black
Quit
and
playing with me, y'all. Quit playing with me, y'all. Quit playing with me, y'all. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Quit playing with me. Come on. Quit playing with me. Testnet. Testnet. When we're watching this, what would you guys expect? Regular. Regular. Go to 0.5. Do the bullish retest there. A little bit more bearish. It doesn't make it to the 0.5. It has a candle close within the golden pocket. Alrighty. Bullish would be breaking through the 0.5 and pivoting off of the 0.5. So we're good, right? And as always, put your stop loss at break even. I mean, our entry is right here, y'all. So you know that if this closes below and if it starts to do some weird shit like this, then Papink, get the fuck out. Shout outs to all the lions that were asking me earlier this morning, why aren't you in the long from here? Do you see why now? All right, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. 20 minutes on the 30-minute candle close. Let's go. Let's switch to the hourly candle close. One hell of a sweep. Ghost Hunter says, is testnet another exchange? No. No, there's like 4 people on this planet that just cannot comprehend that I might be a little bit smarter or a little bit better. And so they always say that it's fake money. So we're just kind of teasing them by assuring them, hey man, this is testnet, don't get triggered, don't get insecure. That's what that's about.
Testnet, baby.
Yeah, it's not another exchange. Oh man. How'd you guys like that so far, ladies and gentlemen? Is MGK in here? Somebody find the clip. If somebody find the clip where I circled the 75786. I know it's there.
Testnet juice is the best juice.
If this was the fib that we got filled on, do you see like why I was marking out the 05 and the 382? Were you here when I said this would be a really nice bullish reaction? You can still have this go all the way back and back test, okay? But it would be dope if we could get up here and then do that. And that's just because we've seen the Fibonacci reaction hundreds and thousands of times. So we know based off of where it bounces from, where it rejects from, what the outcome would be, what the outcome would have a higher probability for. Alrighty? And then so you got to watch the 05 and 382. So you might want to just mark it out like this. Just so you have that. And then obviously you should be looking at the levels on the Fibonacci retracement to the upside. So do you see where that 05 overlaps with? So if you do this, clearly you've got volume right here. You've got 05 for the bearish retest on the flip side and the 05 bullish invalidation lining up. So this is where sometimes people might think, okay, I'm going to TP a little bit on my long here. Or some people might say, I'm going to short here. But this is only step 1. You have identified a level of interest. You still need to have some sort of edge. Alrighty? So let's get it, Ghost Hunter. Okay. Go to Kimba Mobile right now. Back. Big Bundas, what's going on? Big Bundas is asking Kimba, do you have any rules about how many times you'd attempt a sweep level?
Will the tears of
The
Saturn
rule
once
is
again
that you
kick
go
exactly
into
ahead?
the scenario with a rule. So, I mean, I don't know how many times you've seen like a 3 drives pattern, Big Bundas. But if it's a continuation of a bear div, then or a bull div, then I'll probably be willing to chase the third one. A lot of times, if I'm gonna chase the third drive, I will purposefully not take the second one. So it all just kind of depends on is it making a bad low, is it making a bad high, what is the probability that it could go and sweep that fucker again type of thing. Yeah, so it's a little bit tricky, Bundas. I will say that this, like, do you see what I'm seeing? Do you see a potential 30-minute bull div? Did you see how the open interest declined a little bit on that? So this wouldn't be a bad second attempt, but you would have to seriously consider if you think a 3 drives is possible with those shady bottom bad lows. So is it worth attempting this second one and you want to front run a sweep? You could try. It wouldn't be wrong to, brother. So you got to decide right now if you want to try to get that third drive or not. But you do see that it's going to try to hold some sort of bull div, right, on the 30-minute. But yeah, I would have much preferred like a reaction here. Tough Gnome says S&P lost its important level and seems to be cannot
critical
get it back.
info. Please.
Yeah, are you looking at the Bugamas for tomorrow? Do you remember what we said about options expirations for tomorrow? It's the schwagada. DVS says overlay. Shout out overlay. CryptoGenX says, I have been gone all day. How far must I rewind? As long as you watched yesterday's highlights and you've been following along the last couple days, I think you're good. So do you have, instead of asking me, did I miss anything or do I need to rewind? Or instead of asking, is the plan still the same? Try to ask me something more explicit or direct. So we identified the bad high. The sweep happened. And what was my home run target on a short? Are there going to be scalp long and scalp short opportunities? Sure. If I see any sort of edge, will I take a shot? Yes. And whether it's a scalp long attempt or a scalp short attempt, I'm going to put my stop loss break even. So even if I'm wrong, I make a couple bucks. Like I made like $2,300 or something on that last long, even though I could have had like 40 or something. But steady does it, easy money. Arkson says, we have a hidden bull div though. Sure. Yes. Are you asking like bear div versus bull div? Is that what you're asking me? So my whole thing was, I will prioritize the hidden bull divs until what? Arkson, do you remember what we talked about? Until we get the CME sweep. Until we made a, no, Arkson. Until CME made an all-time high. So now that we have finally swept CME all-time high, now all bets are off. Now the preferential treatment and the babying for the hidden bull divs, now it's back to neutral. They're all going to have to work for it for me again. So I was leaning on the hidden bull divs until CME all-time high was broken. Now it's back to normal. All bets are off and everything goes back to neutral. So but I don't know if I'm right or wrong though. Okay? But that has been my plan going into all of this. So I'm going to just stick to it. But I don't know if I'm right or wrong though, Arkson. But my whole plan has been, once CME all-time high swept, and it did, and it made a semi-good high, then we're back to neutral. So, a hidden bull div doesn't necessarily get preferential treatment over, say, a regular bear div. Alrighty? But here's the thing too, brother. This is not the first time on a higher time frame we have a regular bear div with a hidden bull div on the higher time frame with a regular bull div. So hidden bull div, we always say we want to see a 15-minute or a 30-minute regular bull div, right? So this is like a good sort of example of, fuck man, I've got a bigger bear div, but I got a smaller bull div. Which one is going to win? Stay tuned and find out. That's why, Arkson, I don't know if you saw this like a couple minutes ago, but did you see me drawing this? So here to here, bear div. Here to here, bear div. Okay, but now you've got a bull div. Remember when I was talking about if you're going to go off of bull div, then you would only close your long if the bull div got invalidated, not some Fibonacci? Lord Banda says, and also a hidden bull div. That is correct. That is correct, Lord Banda. So, Lord Banda, do you understand why I attempted a long earlier in the stream today? And why I didn't take the initial 618, but I took the 7.5? Do you also know why I put my stop loss at break even? So if I was wrong, I would still, make like a couple thousand or break even. Everybody Gucci? So some people are actually going to do this, and they're going to say the bear div reset. And so some people are going to do this. And there is no right or wrong. You're going to have to figure out which one is the best for you. Arkson says, was thinking the same but wasn't sure. Okay, good stuff. Smaller for golden pocket retrace, then going down. Yeah, so let's see what happens, Arkson. You good? So levels to the downside. Are you good in terms of levels to the downside? I think for the most part, everybody is aware. But you should know if CME and Coinbase swept. Alrighty? Everyone should know if Coinbase and CME swept or not, right? So let's just get that out of the way. But levels to the downside, that guy, 65.6, yes? Up there. And then fib, volume. Chris says, what do you think about scalping on 1 minute chart? If you can do it, God bless you. You should do it. I cannot do it. Some told me it's pure gambling because it's too quick. But just like anything in trading and really anything in life, Chris, why don't you try it out? So you have your own personal experience and personal judgment. I know some people that can trade like scalp 1 minute, 3 minute, and they make a killing. My dumb ass will completely get wrecked. So you never know until you really try, brother. So if I told you that it is gambling, and if other people told you that it's pure gambling, you wouldn't even try it yourself. So yeah, generally speaking, I think it's pure gambling as well. But for some reason, I know people that can make it work. So, you should try it out yourself. I would hate to just say it's pure gambling and then you never try it and it just so happens that you're an incredible scalper. That being said, any questions about the next levels? Are you guys good? So when people are thinking that these trades can't be real, what they're really telling me is not that like I'm better at the TA, is they just can't control themselves. They don't have good risk management. I don't need to be right all the time, but if I'm disciplined enough and patient enough to wait for my confluence to get filled, even if I'm wrong, I'm going to be able to put my thang at break even.
Kimber, is this
So,
a good time to
if
sell
most of my
my on the
trades,
black
if
market,
not all
or
of
should
them,
I
are
wait for
free
a higher
rolls,
price?
I only need to rely on the ones that work. Chris says, I see Kimba, but why don't you take partial TP in situations like today? Well, so I'll give you the exact answer. If this is my play, okay, if I got filled here, okay, I actually drew this for you, Chris, but it's based off of planning it out, okay? You can either go to the 382 or the 05, okay? This kind of floated in the middle of nowhere, but regardless of where it gets to, you're always going to have a bullish retest of the golden pocket, like 88% of the time. Okay, and if you see enough Fibonacci golden pocket 7.5 bounces, you're gonna know what I'm talking about, and this is what I mean by experience. Alrighty, but this is the true, just because it goes to the 0.5 or the 382 and it comes back, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's bearish. So that's, if you go back and rewind, Chris, I actually drew it for you guys, but bank, and then this is the pivot. I drew it just like this. So what I really could have done if I wanted to maximize profits is I could have put my stop loss there instead of here. Okay? I could have been like, it really shouldn't lose golden pocket, so, maybe I'll do it here instead of here. But you're really talking about $150, $200. I'm not nickel and diamond over that. I don't give a shit. But if that was a big difference to you, then you could have done that. Alrighty? For me, I'm going to do something like this because I've seen this many, many times. You see where the 886 is? There's a possibility that this could have completely nuked and lost it, bounced off of 886 and reclaimed it right back. Hence, why my stop loss was behind the 886 and right in front of the 7.5. But it's not really so much about was it right? Was it wrong? Is this the only way? I'm just trying to manage risk and I'm trying to logically build my case. Okay? Not, oh my God, I want to get as much money as I can. I've seen this shit hundreds and thousands of times. Logically, I know that worst case, it can go to 886. The 886 is still in front of my entry. So I can be aggressive and I can be conservative and responsible. And so therefore, that's where I'm going to put my stop loss. And that's literally where it was, right? Remember when I don't know if I showed it, but remember when it got hit? So there you go, Chris. And I don't know if I did the right thing. I don't know if it's gonna, if I should have let it run longer, blah, 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 blah. But I had to manage my risk no matter what. Does that make sense? So if I wanted to close it out and then get back in, then there's no problem. But I've got to always manage risk. So that's it. So that's how I interpret it, Chris. But there is no right or wrong. If you were dead set on maximizing profits, then you could have just had a trailing stop. And as soon as this started turning around, pop-pink. But let me ask you this though. If you know that it can do this, are you really maximizing profits if you close your thing out right here? So you see how it's interpretive? In my opinion, I actually was trying to maximize profits because I know that it can do this. So it would seem silly to me to just get stopped out right here when I know that there's more potential. So, that's why there's no right or wrong. You could make an argument and say, hey man, let's maximize profits right here. As soon as it starts turning, pa-ping, all right, cool. I got a long from here to here, Bugatti. That's why a lot of this stuff is individualistic, and I would much rather you guys know how to read the data so you guys can man up and make your own decisions. Because somebody that says, I might be genuinely thinking that I am going to maximize profits and I'm going to be tolerant of that, and then it doesn't go my way and I get stopped out, and the copy trader also gets stopped round tripped and is like, why didn't you take more profits? Well, fucker, god damn it, you should have had a trailing one if it was that big of a deal to you. But he probably didn't understand the pivots and he hasn't seen the pivots. Sound good, Chris? So there is no right or wrong. You're just going to have to do your best. We're all seeing the same shit, right? The fibs are where they are. The lack of or the presence of a div is there in front of us. You know what I mean? So does that answer your question, Chris? Do you start to understand that it is highly advantageous for you to know what the fuck is going on so you can make a decision? Dark Dodo says, you think we can go for an all-time high still and look for another short from there? Sure, Dark Dodo. Identify a level and watch the data to see if you have a bearish edge, right? Whether we go to 75K or 82K, if the open interest on Bybit, BTC, USD, if I see $400 million in shorts closing, you best believe I'm probably in that short. And I hope you know that without needing me to tell you. But whether it's 75K or 80K, wouldn't you agree with me, Dark Dodo, that if I finally get to see $400 million in shorts getting squeezed, I'm probably going to attempt a short there, no? Yeah. Makes sense? Yeah, so identify the levels. You could do Fibonacci extensions. You could do Fibonacci time extension. You could do sweep levels. You could look for bad highs. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, it's not really so much, like it's anywhere from 72.2 to 72.6, right? Yeah, so I mean, if you go, just with mathematical and Fibonacci confluence, you have interesting levels. You know? So, yeah, but just remember what we talked about with it's, you know, head and shoulders. Go fuck. So like I'm just throwing everything out there because let's say that I end the stream in 10 minutes, right? And then 2 hours later it comes here, right? And then we're doing this, and then even before I can start my stream tomorrow, okay, if it's already doing this, you know what to look for here. Volume, and then is it gonna be a failed auction type of thing? Because people are gonna try to get trapped on the bearish retest. You want this. You know, and then ideally you get a bunch of shorts here. You do this, but when you come back here, the open interest doesn't reset and they get trapped. And then obviously the whole thing could just nuke to 50, which would be dope as fuck too, right? And then let's say, for example, that this does not look good, meaning like it invalidates like the bearish divs, the open interest doesn't squeeze, right? Then swing fail of this. But honestly, 75 is where I probably would be waiting. Flecka says, I was on and off today, but again, thank you, Kimba, for doing all this literally every day. It's my pleasure, man. I mean, I'm not going out of my way. If I'm gonna be staring at the charts, I'm just living my life, man. You know, so I appreciate you guys for stopping out. I wish we could have juiced a little bit easier. Or you know, if that first long didn't get stopped out, it would have been nice. But other than that, I'm going to just be waiting for that 72, 150, 72, 500 zone. And we'll see if it's a short opportunity. But if it's not an obvious short, like you have more than 3 edge, you know, it's probably not worth taking because you have options expirations tomorrow. So the safest thing would be to actually wait for Bugamas to show up tomorrow morning. Johnny Boy says, LOL, you know your place. Yup. You know what it is. Snail Waddle says, damn, I'd actually be down to make poker content. That's my main game. That's awesome. So Snail Waddle, I think, was it you, Snail Waddle, that reached out to me on Discord and was like, hey, I'm actually a professional poker player. I could explain strategy and basic strategy sometime. There was like 2 or 3 of you guys that reached out to me via DM and said shit like that. And eventually, I will bring you guys on as like a co-commentator when we're watching the final tables. But yeah, I'm not going to get like too sidetracked because this is really about like TA and crypto trading. So I'm not going to get too carried away with doing like a poker stream, but we'll have some fun with it. Tough Gnome, Cowboy Crypto, Ludo, Lord Banda, Amalis, Fetula. Have fun tonight, Kimba. Thank you, Buzzo. Triple 24 says, thanks for popping in today. It's my pleasure. I'll see you guys again tomorrow, though. Yeah, last minute, any questions? You guys good? So levels of interest would be like the 72150, the 739, the 68.6, the 66.8, and the 65.6. So those are the levels, and then divergences, in particular CVD, is what I would be looking at. You guys remember how we talked about this too? So bear div, some people are going to be looking for that reaction here. Some people are going to look for that. Obviously, you just had a bull div, so if you do get into a short, don't forget about what we talked about here. And don't forget about watching the bull div break. Okay? Because you know that I'm a big fan of bull divs going into breaking a bear div. So bulls, you know what you're looking for. Bears, you know what you're looking for. I think you guys are good to go, right? This trend line is debatable. It could be the bigger one. But everybody sees it, right? So the RSI has a couple of divergences that it could hold or could not hold. Even if you do get like a pixel perfect triple bear div, you're not out of the woodwork because you could get faked out on the head and shoulders breakout. Or it could just be a simple golden pocket trace back. So, and then swing low, swing high, golden pocket, volume, right? Volume, golden pocket, pixel perfect, triple bull div, going into try and breaking a bear div. So, and then if you don't have any idea what the fuck you're doing, don't just do it because somebody else is doing it or you see me on VIP. If anything, just do like a small ass position, like a micro position. So there's long opportunities. We all see the divs. We can all watch the open interest. We all see where the volume profile is. And don't forget quarterly options expirations, weekly options expirations on traditional markets tomorrow. Good? Everybody good? Well, I'm excited to see how we start the stream tomorrow. Maybe I do get that short, but we'll see. We'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, I am out of here. Longers, I'm rooting for you. Shorters, I'm rooting for you. Bulls, bears, we're all lions. Ladies and gentlemen, Sato, tell them what happens if they don't use stop loss. He's gonna smack the shit out of you. Hey, happy Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. Love you guys. Have a great night. Stay safe. I need everybody's best tomorrow. One more day. Let's finish strong. One more day. Let's finish strong, y'all. Happy Thursday. Have a great night. Peace, everybody.